Welcome one, welcome all. I am Mark Paulda, a professional photographer. I have been in the photography business for well over 20 years. I want to help you succeed so you can earn money with your camera. With every episode, I will offer you sound advice so you can be part of the 15% of aspiring photographers who succeed. If you are looking for help to turn your passion for photography into a successful business, you have come to the right place. I have got the answers. My weekly episodes will help you understand how to market yourself, how to build a profitable business, and best business practices. No more feeling lost. You do not have to go it alone. Join my audio podcast and start taking my advice on turning your hobby into a profitable business. You will get access to a professional photographer and the best practices that I have learned and experienced over the years. If you have questions along the way, definitely email me. mark@markpaulda.com. You are also invited to join my photography success text community. Send me a text. 915-226-0959. If you are outside the United States, be sure to include +1, the United States country code. Let's get started. How to cultivate an audience in a crowd. Indeed, the internet is a noisy place. In fact, it is the noisiest it has ever been. As of 2020, Instagram had over 1 billion monthly active users who use the app, an average of 28 minutes per day. Facebook reports over 2.2 billion monthly active users. And those numbers are growing. With so much content being posted, is it even possible to get noticed anymore? Thankfully, it absolutely is. Not only that, but what if I told you that it is possible to build a loyal following, meet tons of other creative individuals just like you, and even find paying clients without spending a dime on advertising? With a proper strategy, all of that is achievable. But if you are like most photographers, you might not know where to start. Where do you find people? What is the best way to engage them? Which hashtag should you use? Here is what you will learn today to help you cultivate an audience for your photographic work. 1. Why creating value is absolutely necessary. 2. The power of Facebook groups. 3. How to optimize your Instagram hashtag strategies to build an audience. Ready to start growing your tribe? Let's get to it. Note: for any internet newbies out there, a tribe is your followers. A hashtag is an internet device used to direct your posts toward a potential audience. Let's set the record straight. In order to attract an audience, you absolutely must have good content. If you are not creating value in your content, you are missing the most important ingredient to developing an audience. It is like trying to make banana bread without bananas. It just will not work. However, posting solid, properly exposed, well-composed images just is not enough these days. You need to ensure that people are taking away something whenever they view your work. The best way to make that happen is to use a caption. Here are a few ways to do it. 1. Share your camera settings within the caption. Your audience most likely consists of a good percentage of people who are photographers themselves. If you are sharing a killer image, then there is a great chance that someone out there will be curious about the settings you used to get the shot. Sharing your lens selection and camera settings are a great way to help others out. You are adding value. 2. Tell a story. How often do you scroll past images on Instagram, Facebook, Flickr, or 500px that have one-word captions? Boring, right? Too many people take their caption space for granted. Instead of using the same words and phrases that other people are using, why not tell a story instead? Engage your audience by sharing something interesting or funny that relates to the photograph somehow. Talk about how you almost got kicked out of the place you were shooting at, or your thought process behind the shot. People love stories, so why not indulge them? You re-adding value. 3. Share a helpful tool or tactic. I recently educated my tribe, my audience or followers, about the importance of color coordinating my photography website, as it makes viewing easier for the visitors to my site and often leads to additional sales. I also pointed out that my own Instagram feed is color coordinated for the most part. Sharing a helpful, and especially free, tool that people could use immediately, undoubtedly played a huge part in why that post performed so well. Key lesson: when mentioning any helpful resources that you use, why not see if said resource is on Instagram, and then tag them in your post? Sometimes brands will repost your image when you do that, which will serve your content up to an entirely new audience who otherwise would not have discovered you. The power of Flickr groups. Let's talk about Flickr groups. There is a Flickr group for virtually anything and everything now. Just now, I thought of 3 completely random niches off the top of my head: Dallas photographers, wedding photographers, and nature photographers. Sure enough, there is more than one group for each of them. Since I have been a member, being active in Flickr groups has been a major contributor to my growth as a photographer, and I have experienced growth in my business. Do know, I have been an active Flickr user since 2004. As a result, I have landed a book deal, paid photography opportunities, and I have networked with hundreds of like-minded creatives. Just recently, I was in Venice, Italy, and I called up a friend whom I met in a Flickr group. We got together for dinner, and she showed me around Venice, and took me out on her boat. It was awesome. But, just joining random Flickr groups, and spamming them with your photography, is not a good strategy. Be active. Be supportive of others. Share your ideas. Here are 4 best practice tips for using Flickr groups to your advantage. Diversify your communities. When choosing which groups to join, consider the different niches that might exist. For example, let's say you live in Wilmington, North Carolina, and you shoot with Fuji and Sony. You also specialize in portrait and editorial style photography. Let's think of a few groups we could research given those characteristics. Wilmington photographers. North Carolina photographers. Fuji shooters. Sony shooters. Portrait photographers. Fashion/editorial photography. Fuji portrait photography. Sony portrait photography. Are you seeing the possibilities here? Key lesson. Make sure you join at least 2 or 3 local groups to maximize the chances of picking up work in your area. You are much more likely to get hired by someone, if you are local. Approach with the mindset of giving value. It is best not to jump into a group and share links to your website right away. Instead, use the same strategy as you would for your Instagram, Flickr, or 500px posts. Leverage your caption space to share camera settings, your creative process, or the story behind the photo you took. Whenever you post something, ask yourself, would anyone find this post helpful or inspiring? Do not put too much pressure on yourself though. Not every post you create is going to be earth-shattering or profound. Just aim to create value whenever you contribute. Interact with members. Being a part of a community is about so much more than sharing your own work and expecting everyone to grovel at your feet. Get to know the other creatives. You could very well be inspired by other members of the group. Feedback is invaluable. If someone posts a question that you can answer, help them out. Also, it is crucial to reply to comments on your posts. Take the time to thank people who compliment your work. Remember, a little effort goes a long way. Give people a call to action. You want to be careful with this recommendation, as some Flickr groups specifically state that you are not allowed to share links. But for those that do allow it, leaving your website URL or social media handle as part of your signature, at the bottom of the posts you make, can be a great way to get new site traffic and followers. Important note. Make sure you have contributed enough value into the group before giving a call to action. If your posts consistently get good engagement through likes and positive comments, you are on the right track. How to optimize your Instagram hashtag strategies. There is a lot of speculation about the Instagram algorithm. What factors affect your reach with a post to the site? In my personal experience, following these 3 strategies will help ensure you have healthy engagement from your followers. Know your audience. Who are you trying to reach? Knowing your target demographic is crucial to successfully increasing your reach, engagement, and conversions, whether that is someone who wants to book you for a photo shoot, pay you for a promoted post, or even sending you free swag. The biggest mistake that most people make on Instagram is not having any idea who they want to attract, so they just throw a bunch of hashtags together and hope for the best. Does this sound like you? If so, do not feel bad. I was guilty of this too once upon a time. Note: for the Instagram newbies, a hashtag looks like this hash. You place this symbol in front of a word or phrase. Here is an example, hashtag portrait photography. You can see this at my website markpaulda.mentor.com. Anyone using Instagram who has an interest in portrait photography would click on the search window and type, hashtag portrait photography. This would bring up all of the portrait photography posts that were hashtagged with hashtag portrait photography, including yours. One other way that an Instagram user can access a hashtag is by simply clicking on it within a post. They may have never heard of you, click on hashtag portrait photography in a completely random post, and when they arrive at the destination page, they may see your hashtagged image. Boom! Perhaps you have a new follower. Think about the kind of photography you serve, and the value you create. Who is your customer? Is it newly engaged couples looking for wedding photographers? Or actors and actresses looking for updated headshots? Or fine art poster publishers looking for new content? Make sure you are targeting your hashtags toward your specific niche, and the audience within it. 2. Diversify your portfolio. Many photographers are guilty of only using super generic hashtags that have well over 1 million posts. The outcome of that practice is that their images are quickly buried by following posts. Someone who browses those hashtags will not see them because they are way down in the feed, giving them practically no discoverability. Think of hashtags as a mutual fund. If you know nothing about mutual funds, just bear with me, as this is an easy analogy. You want to diversify your chances of being discovered by choosing a mix of popular hashtags and niche hashtags. If you only use super popular hashtags, or super niche hashtags, you probably will not see much growth. Let's use myself as an example. I am a travel photographer, blogger, and marketing strategist. I help photographers grow their online presence and create a side income for themselves. Here is a look at the hashtags I used for a recent well-performing post. Notice that I used a mixture of popular hashtags, hashtag do what you love, hashtag inspire daily, hashtag live your passion, as well as niche hashtags, hashtag travel, hashtag professional photographer, hashtag photography business, and localized hashtags, hashtag London photographer, hashtag London night photographer. Rather than just swinging for the fences, use a variety of hashtags, of varying popularity, to maximize your discoverability to potential followers. 3. Mix it up. This is a point that I mentioned in an episode last week. Instagram wants users to find exactly the content they are looking for when they click on a hashtag. So, it does not help at all to use a popular hashtag if it is not relevant to the content that you are posting. Many photographers use the same copied and pasted hashtags over and over in their posts, but you should avoid that. Some people have reported that by doing so, it has resulted in their posts being shadow banned by Instagram. This means the reach of your post is severely restricted, and in some cases not seen at all. Whether shadow banning is a thing or not, because no one knows for sure at this point, it is a good idea to mix up your hashtags so that they are relevant to the image you are posting. Remember, good content plus specific audience plus relevant hashtags equals success. Conclusion: creating good content is not enough. In order to build an audience, you need a clear strategy of who you want to reach and how you will deliver value to them when you post online. Once you have this strategy in place, share your work, and in the process help others as much as possible. Good things will happen as a result. Test yourself with the following self-check quiz. 1. True or false, you need to have good content in order to build an audience. 2. Name 3 ways you can engage your audience in your post caption. 3. True or false, you have to pay for ads to reach anyone on Flickr. 4. What are the 4 best practice tips to follow when participating in Flickr groups? 5. True or false, you should use only the most popular hashtags. A genuine thank you for joining me today for this episode. If you are serious about success in the photography business, then I am serious and ready to help. Visit markpaulda.mentor.com and discover a variety of ways I can help you in your journey. If you have questions along the way, definitely email me. mark@markpaulda.com. You are also invited to join my photography success text community. Send me a text. 915-226-0959. If you are outside the United States, be sure to include +1, the United States country code. I will catch you in the next episode.